This is going to give Ty's death real meaning.
More than a year since Denver7 Investigates first exposed a failed system, a system that resulted in the death of 10-year-old Ty Tesserero after a nasty custody battle.
Anytime there's a tragedy, we have to look back.
Tonight, a push at the state level to change policy, a policy that now has garnered broad support.
Plus, justice is served.
Heath is a loss we will forever feel.
Adams County Deputy Heath Gumb's killer sentenced to life, and the community is now ready to start healing.
He will never be replaced. He will always be remembered.
And an incredible show of support, Denver7 gives donations now helping a volunteer fire department get a much-needed boost.
They are tired, ragged, our trucks are breaking down.
And now to a promise of action and change following a year-long Denver7 investigation into the murder of a 10-year-old boy.
Last September in Lone Tree, Ty Tessero's father killed him and then took his own life. That unthinkable murder happened just hours after Dad learned he was going to lose custody.
Denver7 investigator Jennifer Kowaleski did a series of reports exposing how the system failed to protect Ty. And tonight she explains how his death could change laws in Colorado.
Okay, dance. His name is Ty. He's 10 years old.
That's the Ty I know.
You are my sunshine, my only
and in this video, there's music playing.
You make me happy when skies
because it's part of the video they showed at his funeral.
And he was always smiling.
And that's the Ty I like everybody to remember.
I'd climb every mountain.
Nothing will ever bring Ty back. But his mom, Jing Tesserero, is fighting for change in a system that better protects children like him.
If our court system wants to make a difference in our children's life, they need to start doing something now.
And that difference could finally come at the state capitol.
I acknowledge that the system needs to transform.
He's the director of Douglas County's Department of Human Services, the agency who oversaw Ty's case.
We really looked to see how can we do better.
What challenges did you face with Ty's case?
Well, there were multiple systems involved.
Those systems included the civil and criminal courts, where Dad was previously charged with domestic violence. Then there was the Department of Human Services role, and a lack of communication between them all.
I think focusing a definition or policy changes would result in better coordination between the systems.
Dan McKelkey is helping push a bill that could forever change Colorado's domestic violence laws. It would define domestic violence in the state children's code to capture the emotional and psychological impact this behavior can have on children.
Only increase training, response, and really focus the plan on who is the aggressor or the perpetrator in a situation.
The reason this matters in Ty's case is because despite so many agencies being involved, Ty's dad continued to have coercive power and control over Jing and Ty.
Continuing to try to control the person that you have been abusing.
Up until his final moments.
I told you guys that he was going to kill Ty.
Ty's murder by his own father exposed a systematic gap in how social workers understand and manage domestic violence abusers, especially when that violence doesn't come with bumps and bruises.
This isn't just a Douglas County issue. Domestic violence is prevalent in everyone's community.
What message do you hope that this sends to Ty's mom?
That we're invested in change.
The cost of doing nothing is another child's funeral.
State Representative Jonathan Singer was a social worker before becoming a lawmaker. For him, Ty's death is personal.
It is far overdue to give a name to domestic violence in our children's code.
A proposed law change that now has the support of Colorado Counties Incorporated, or CCI, an organization that is well known at the Capitol. The group represents 61 out of the state's 64 counties.
To have their backing means that this has got serious weight behind it, and it's something that will very likely pass.
Action now possible, more than a year since Ty's death.
I like to hold on to the good memories.
Following dozens of Denver7 stories about a mother's fight for change.
What your reporting has done more than anything else has said that this issue of domestic violence cannot be stigmatized anymore. Because I think without that, we may not be here today.
The children are caught in the middle, and they're being abused.
While Jing's still grieving and still clinging to those videos.
Funny loves to follow the leader. Let's go.
she's holding out hope for real change at the Capitol.
I'm just hoping that people actually will be paying more attention this time.
We're going to fight for change.
Colorado Counties Incorporated chose this bill out of more than 20 different issues. They will now work to find state lawmakers interested in sponsoring the bill. I'm Denver7 investigator Jennifer Kovaleski.
The husband of Denver District Attorney Beth McCann is facing misdemeanor arson charges for leaving a burning slash pile unattended in Grand County Tuesday. Of course, that's the same area that has been scorched by the East Troublesome fire, and the burn went against the county's fire ban. Christopher Lenz Mayor facing 12 counts of fourth-degree arson. Now, nobody was hurt, no property was damaged, but this isn't the first time. According to Sky High News, Lenz Mayor was previously accused of unintentionally starting a 10-acre wildfire on his property near Kremling in 2016. He also faced charges last year. Denver DA Beth McCann is on the ballot for re-election.
The man who murdered Adams County Deputy Heath Gum in the line of duty in 2018 will spend the rest of his life behind bars.
The days of fighting for justice may be over for the Gum family, but the pain they carry will never go away. And tonight, fellow deputies say they will never forget their brother in blue. Here's Denver7's Addie Guajardo.
I got one running from me. Shot fired. I've officer down.
It's been 2 years, 9 months, and a handful of days since Adams County Sheriff's Deputy Heath Gum responded to a burglary and was murdered in the line of duty, leaving behind a loving wife and family.
You soared high above us in all those aspects of life.
Days that at times feel suffocating for Jim Gum, who called his son his best friend.
Sometimes that seems like such a difficult task.
After 5 weeks of testimony, including 40 witnesses and 500 pieces of evidence, the jury found Drayon Deering guilty of first-degree murder of a peace officer and sentenced him to life in prison.
The verdict that we all knew they would, and that showed justification and justice for our son.
The defense argued Deering acted in self-defense and claimed Gum fired the first shot.
The evidence and facts clearly indicate that Mr. Deering shot first and probably shot the first 3 or 4 shots.
Sergeant Adam Sherman and Gum worked as patrol deputies together.
He was a talker and a people person.
And the stories the community shared after Gum's murder only reinforced the notion of a deputy, a brother who lived to serve and protect.
Story after story of how grateful they were that he was the deputy that stopped by and helped them change a tire. He was the one that would, find them a room for the night if they were out on a cold sidewalk.
Gum, a 5-year veteran with the Sheriff's Department, may be gone, but the lives he touched will never forget the care and compassion he brought to his community.
Losing somebody, anyone, but especially somebody who was so gracious and so lovable and likable as Heath is a loss we will forever feel. He will never be replaced. He will always be remembered.
Addie Guajardo, Denver7.
Denver parents standing together against the back-and-forth guidance from the school district, and tomorrow some of those parents plan to voice their frustrations and protest the return to remote learning. Denver 3rd through 5th graders will be back to remote learning next week after going back to in-person learning for just a week. Middle and high schoolers will remain in remote learning through the remainder of the semester. Another day and another 1,800 cases were added to the coronavirus count here in Colorado. Our statewide case total now stands at 102,000. We've now been adding more than 1,000 cases a day for almost 2 weeks straight. And nationwide, another troubling milestone. We have surpassed 9 million cases.
And tonight we're monitoring a serious outbreak inside the El Paso County Jail. More than 60 people have tested positive just in the last 24 hours, and that brings the total number of positive cases inside that facility to 72. Also, residents in Pueblo now have to be off the streets by 10 p.m. The mayor there announced a curfew that goes into effect tomorrow. Mayor Nick Gradisar says most people there who are contracting the virus are 20 to 40 years old. So the goal is to keep those people home between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. in the hopes that this will curb the spread. Just on Tuesday, there were only 2 ICU beds available in Pueblo.
We're about to outrun the capacity of our hospitals to deal with the pandemic here.
The curfew will remain in effect for 2 weeks, and those who are caught after curfew are facing a $1,000 fine or even jail time.
5 days to go, and more than 2 million Coloradans have already cast their ballot in this election. 35% are Democrats, 27% are Republicans, 35% are unaffiliated voters. And more than 81 million Americans and counting already have voted. That's nearly 60% of the total 2016 turnout, and we still have 5 days to go. It's still a tight race in several states, including Florida, where both campaigns held dueling rallies today. Joe Biden leads the president in most national polls, but according to a 538 poll, the two are only separated by 2 points in Florida, with Biden out in front, and those once reliable red states are now just too close to call, including Texas, Arizona, even Georgia. And you can count on Denver7 to bring you results all night long on election night this coming Tuesday. Starting at 5 p.m. right here on Denver7, we'll be checking in with ABC News as polls close on the East Coast. You can also watch our wall-to-wall coverage of the local races on our Denver7 streaming apps, where you can find local results and analysis from Colorado leaders. That coverage starts at 6 p.m. on your streaming device of choice, Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV.
The fire was moving so quickly, there was really nothing we could do to get into my neighborhood.
He ran toward the flames to protect homes, and like so many others, he lost his own home in the process.
It's given me the chance to actually know that I did everything I could.
Tonight, the generosity through Denver7 Gives is helping this volunteer firefighter and his teammates get much needed help.
Wow, beautiful temperatures today. I'll let you know how much longer this warm trend will stick around.